Welcome back to Sika Strength. Welcome back to the Sika Stand News Show, brought to you by Bumper Stickers and Cow Milk Liquors. So today's news show is brought to you by the Sika Strength app. Our new app just released the other week. The app is our newest in our way of presenting our programs that are coaching to you. It's the next evolution in how we can get you better at your strength or eventually even your conditioning on the app. So we've stuff like dynamic loading adjustments. So when you put in your inputs, you put in what you did in your session, and then the outcomes change in the following session, so it's loaded appropriately for you. Same great programs, loads of new programs, coach bot, artificial intelligence bot trained by us, and a lot of other great features. So check it out on iOS and Android. Starting off the new show, we have got Dayin, and I'm very disappointed because it's the first time we've ever seen Dayin with his shirt on. 2 shirts, in fact. He's singlet, so very disappointing.
I feel like Dayin is incredibly strong at every single strength accessory exercise.
Quick math, he's an 89 kilo lifter. This is 250. What multiple of his body weight is this?
2.6.
Okay.
That's probably wrong.
Check in the comments.
I feel like weighted dips are his thing. I feel like weighted hamstring Nordics are his thing. Clearly front squats are his thing.
He's got quite the dumpy on him too, you know.
Yeah, he's thick.
The Chinese lifters never round their upper back on front squats. Never. It does a lot to be said for just having a monstrously strong upper body.
You know, another thing about Chinese weightlifters and their front squats is they always go for the open hands fingertippy grip, even though they look like they have great front rack position.
That's very true, actually. They do that, don't they? Mm-hmm. Like, he clearly has an excessive amount of external rotation. Not excessive, appropriate. Loads of room, loads of mobility. He can squat jerk, we know he's mobile. And he still goes for the fingertippy grip.
You see it even with Tian and even with Liu. Like, they'll walk the barbell out with a full grip on the bar sometimes and then open their hand out.
There is this feeling when you're going for heavy squats and when you unrack it, the barbell is already active. There's already oscillation in the barbell. And you can just tell when he unracks that 250 that there is already... It's already done. It's already being smashed.
Yeah, it's great. Great squat.
And he's got your Pikachu clown shoes on. You favourite. You love this. Next off, we've got a Gigacha, Liu Huanhua. I hope he knows he's called Gigacha. I must ask Steph if he doesn't know that. But just a casual little 160 snatch.
This is just so crisp with the pull underneath. Mm-hmm. So crisp. Nice amount of foot movement as well, which is strange for a lot of those Chinese elite level lifters. The new Antas, Gerf, I know you're pining after them.
I'm pining after them, yeah. I want to get those ones. I want to get them.
Does this particular 160 make you pine even more?
No, because...
Even pinier?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not a pine tree for this one because I'm still squatting, you know, so I haven't done any lifts in the last 3 months. So it's not... This wouldn't do it for me, but a big squat would do it for me, you know, if he squatted in them, something cool. If he did 300 in them, I'd pine for them, you know. I'd be a pine tree. I'd be a pine cone for them.
You know what I'm pining for? Is that extra long, oversized Team China t-shirt. That looks sick.
The one I really want is the Team Korea jersey and jacket combo. Yeah. I asked about it then when we were there, and Yanko said you just have to get something to give it to you. And I didn't have anything to give them, so there was no bartering to be done. But I could send them a bag of Barry's tea and whiskey or something.
Yeah, a bottle of pochine.
Yeah, don't drink it.
Yeah, honestly, don't drink it. Rub it on your muscles.
So Liu Huanhua is, of course, basically one of the best performing male Chinese lifters currently, especially after the Asian Games debacle on the female side. So I'm sure he is golden boy currently, and long may that last.
Yeah, long may that exceptional lockout of the elbows last also.
Speaking of that exceptional lockout, it looks to be 190 kilo push press for a double here from the strongest overhead athlete I think we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, these jerk blocks are the most solid jerk blocks in the world, which is strange because usually the metal ones are very rattly.
They are, yeah, the metal ones, when you're in even a medium-sized room, all that's happening is this cacophony of noise. It's the start of a System of a Down song. It's Metallica all over again when you're dropping heavy weights on the metal blocks, and they should be the best.
Yes.
What you need is metal blocks screwed into the ground.
And it looks like this is what they are, even though it looks like there's a wheel on the back of them. This is an incredibly nice push press. We did get a bit sidetracked there and went off on the jerk block tangents.
Yeah.
But these are so nice.
But you know what, though? They don't look to be screwed in the ground. Just to go back on our tangents, I don't think it is screwed. I think they're just really well built.
I think what you have there is 60 by 60 box iron with 3mm wall thickness minimum.
And they're just super sturdy.
Yeah.
And a lot of matting by the looks of things.
A lot of the kind of younger weightlifters or this generation of weightlifters are tending to stay up on their toes a small bit longer in the push press.
Yeah.
More kind of powerful and lighter push presses. Obviously, on these, he's not. He's dropping straight down to the heels. But they still look so good. They look so fast.
We actually don't see a lot of push pressing from Team China.
No.
Usually, Eastern Europe, Russian kind of style systems are more closely related, seem to maintain the push press a lot. But, massive push pressing from him here. Now, sticking with Team China still, because Squat Jerk journalists uploaded a few things in a row, we've got this crispy, smooth, silky smooth Pikachu 200 clean and jerk in these Pikachu Antas. I love that rash guard.
Yeah, that's pretty sick
rash guard.
That is pretty sick. With Dayin, the clean is always going to be amazing. The clean is always going to be freshly glazed, crispy cream. But that power jerk, or whatever you want to refer to that as, whether you're calling it a shallow squat jerk or a power jerk, whatever it is, that is so nice.
There's not many people I can think of who can clean and jerk 200 kilos as nice as him.
No.
Who's got as many 200 kilos on record. He's got a stack of evidence, stack of 200 kilos, where they're just nailing them. Two other people that come to mind would be Ilya and Anton Plesnoy. Liu Huanhua probably, but Tian Tao is just something else when it comes to knocking 200 zingers out of the park.
He's prolific.
Sports.
That overhead position is so nice as well. Like he's a bit further back than most people would expect to be on their jerk, but because of that slight incline forward with the torso, it doesn't really matter. In fact, it works a bit. He's almost like Tarokity.
I get your technical analysis there, and I get we're a coaching company, but if you're wearing a rash guard and you're kind of fat, you just look so messy. They're so unforgiving.
You're not calling Dayin fat, though.
No, that's the thing. He looks
fat.
Great. He looks fantastic in it.
I don't think they'd call that a rash guard, though.
No, probably compression top or sports ball top. He's looking...
athletic training top.
He's looking thick, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's stacked up.
Now, speaking of stacked up, Simon Martyrossian, this is from Squat Jerk Journalist again. This is a 220 kilo clean front squat jerk from the World's Training Hall. And I just want to say that I don't know if we did this in the new show at the time, because I don't remember seeing it anywhere else. But
I don't think we did.
That's stupid.
No, this is absolutely outlandish. When he catches 220 kilos in that clean, his head shoots forward as if it's just like, as you're standing up from the first few warm-ups, your front rack's a bit tight, you're just using an empty bar, and your head kind of flies around the place like you're not really paying attention. That is outrageous.
He carries being a super very well.
Yes.
As well as anyone can carry being a super. I'd be interested to see if anyone knows his weight at Worlds, what he weighed in at.
I know we've talked about this before, but I'd love to see a 120 kilo class. And no drug testing.
I'd love to see a heavy back squat from him. We just never see big back squats from Simon Martyrossian, and I have to imagine they look great. I can't not imagine he can move 270 kilos just like boof, boof.
Yeah, I bet they look so pedestrian.
Boof, boof.
Yeah.
Casual.
Yeah.
Walkable. Pedestrian.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Stop it, Lucas.
So sticking with easy peasy lemon squeezy, we got classic Lucas doing 180 by 5 push jerk on a stiff IPF bar, as he describes it here. Kind of push jerky, power jerky, push pressy style lifting. Like it's so, like, it's not even an aggressive power jerk. Like, it's just all power.
My big thing watching these, and a lot of the time when we're watching these videos, or you're watching these videos at home, there's not a lot you can apply to your own training. In this case, you're like, 180 kilo behind the neck power jerk, or push jerk, how is that any use to me? If you look at how controlled his dip is on the dip and drive, it looks like he's really working on that, like, center of the foot pressure. Hips are back over the heels. It looks very, very good. And if you were watching at home and you do any jerks or push presses or behind the neck jerks or anything like that, watch these. Even if you're just listening to this, watch this dip and drive, and you'll see just how controlled he is.
Yeah, very, very powerful as always from Lucas. Now, sticking with the Asian Games, or coming back to the Asian Games, we have Gormanasian lifting the heaviest lifts of this Asian Games, but also the new Asian Games record. So Gore, of course, moved from Armenia to Bahrain, and he's knocking some fairly casual snatches for him at the moment. I really think we could see Gore snatch 220 in competition before or at the next Olympics. Clean and jerking is something that's good for him. You know, he's a very good clean and jerker, but his snatch is pretty exceptional compared to his clean and jerk. He really needs to get his clean and jerks, if not into the 250s, really into the 260s to be making his mark. Gore probably would be the best super heavy if Lasha hadn't existed, but then you could make the argument that Gore wouldn't have pushed himself as much if Lasha hadn't existed. So it is a bit of the carrot and the stick, or which came first, or the chicken and the egg, or any other analogy you want to think of.
The big thing with Gore snatch, and we've definitely talked about this on the channel before, Gore is nearly at the point where that bar is going to hit his head.
I don't understand, like, why he can't get deeper. It doesn't...
No.
How short are his femurs?
How short are his arms and his legs? Like, this is this is absolutely crazy. A lot of times you'll have people with super long arms and they'll be all the way out to the collars, and that's just what they have to do. I feel like Gore is just trying to absolutely technically maximize his potential.
I have to imagine he's got massive hands if he's able to do that.
Yeah.
With his little shorty arms.
Well, look at the size of his hands here as they're hanging down.
But they don't look, you know, in proportion they look normal. So, like, in absolute values, they must be massive hands. Next, we've got Kolbi Ferguson. He is an American up-and-coming weightlifter by looks of things. I think he's quite young. Here he's front squatting 535 pounds, which is 243-ish kilos. Full depth, nearly at full grip. Beautiful front squat.
This is with Kelly on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and Kelly Starrett was talking about, have you ever seen a unicorn? No, but you'll still know when you see a unicorn. I feel like in this case, Kolbi is a unicorn.
Yeah.
He's just exceptionally strong. They're lovely looking front squats.
In the worst pair of weightlifting shoes you can get as well.
That were ever made, possibly.
Possibly, yeah. And he's just nailing these front squats. Full grip, full depth, upright torso, nice consistent tempo. Very hard to be front squatting those weights alone, but with the extra whip of the massive bumper plates, those extra thickies, like it does make it a little bit harder to be controlling it, especially on a front squat when all the positions matter so much.
The other thing, like, so aside from controlling the whip so much, it's just such an efficient squat. It's 2 steps back. There's no waiting around at the top. I've seen a lot of people, when they're going for those super heavy front squats, take a massive amount of time with the bar on their front rack. It's literally right foot, left foot, and sit down. Yeah. I really like it. Very, very good looking squat.
Now, here we have one of the Kazakhstan youths. I'm almost certain, I'm actually very certain that he's still a teenager. Nikita Abradmov with a 205 kilo hang clean and jerk. Now, it's certainly not the tidiest lifting. Normally his lifting is a little bit nicer than this, as with a lot of the younger Kaz athletes, but it is just pure determination and grit. And he's something in the comments, I'm not really sure what he meant in the description, but history repeats itself. But how heavy is the point of undermining? So I don't know I'd love to know what he actually means here. So if anyone does read, I think is that acrylic? It looks to be acrylic. So if anyone knows, or if that's Kazakh, if anyone reads it, let me know. I'd love to know what he actually meant to say here. I'd be very interested to see.
There's 2 words that come to mind when I look at this scarf.
Go on.
And they are piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
This is just pure and utter 17-year-old aggression being put into that barbell, and I absolutely adore it.
Yeah.
If I was to watch lifts for the rest of my life and I could only pick one genre of lifting, this would be that genre. It's not about the polished lifts for me. It's this incredible speed, incredible pull under. So nice.
I have to hand to him as well. He's using the heaviest possible plates.
Those plates weigh, is it on average 3% more?
I'd say per plate. So he's
per plate, yeah.
So he's probably lifting like 215 kilos here, because everyone knows those coloured competition plates in training are actually heavier. And
the only thing you can do to make them heavier is put a clip on the outside.
Yeah.
If you put those plates on with a clip on the outside,
it's game over. It's game over.
Ce n'est pas bien.
Now, on to The actual lightest style of bar you can ever lift is mixed with competition and training bumpers, as we from mystery Chinese weightlifter from Blade Weightlifting here again returning with 195 kilo clean and jerk in his Pikachu Antas in the dankest looking gym, and those quads are popping. They are something else. That lockout, so very Chinese.
Yeah.
So aesthetic.
No, it's a really, really nice looking clean and jerk. For me, the big thing is a lot of the lighter weight class guys, as they're going up around the 200 kilo mark, there's a massive kind of, not wobble, but their hips coming in at the end of the second pull is the only real kind of generation of speed or generation of power. He has a very, very smooth first and second pull here. It's really nice.
Yeah, he does. The tempo of most Chinese lifters, or certainly the provincial lifters, what you've seen, is a very even first and second pull up until the point where it gets to the hip. So they seem to purposely try and get everything into the hip, specifically with the clean and jerks, which is something that is only viable with long-term practice of that kind of training and mass amount of strength reserves, a lot of talent, good anatomy for weightlifting, and that skill of moving a heavy bar slowly and still making the lift, all of which are things that you just don't want to be overexerting yourself on. It's not the most efficient way of lifting, but it's certainly an effective way of lifting. And once you just keep hammering for that kind of style of lifting, you get people like this. Eventually you get the cream rises to the top, but then the jerk speed is so good, they're just wham, slamming into full extension, no red lights. Do you know as well, and this is proven by science,
Go on.
the lightest known plate to man is the micro 10s.
The micro 10?
Yeah, so the 10 that's just bigger than the 5 but smaller than a standard 10.
Oh, no way. I never knew that to be the case.
So the Soviets did a lot of studies on it, and that's why they developed those small 10s.
I actually thought the lightest combination was when you have multiple 15s on the bar.
Angel Billen, now she's 16 years old, squatting 200 kilos. It says world record, strong girl or whatever. I don't know, is that a literal sense, is that a translation? I don't know what sport she's doing. I don't know what it is. His seems to be a wrestling page. All I know is she's a 16-year-old girl, high bar squatting 200 kilos with a lot of speed in what looks to be probably a training hall that has, or training gym that's probably a lot of people set world records in, or has had a lot of high-class athletes training in there, I'd have to guess. If you put money on the table, gun to my head, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, so it's her dad's page posted it, isn't it?
Looks like it.
And it looks like he's a wrestler or wrestling coach. This is insanely impressive. It also looks like it's a men's 20 kilo bar. Because if you had 200 kilos on a bar like that, I feel like it would be whipping more.
No, it's definitely the women's bar. Because,
do you think?
Well, it couldn't be 200 kilos with 2.5.
Oh, loaded all the way out, yeah.
And it's all the way out, so with 2.5.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's just downright
That's a
powerful.
Where, 16-year-olds like that did not exist when we were 16.
Certainly not 16-year-old girls that squat 200 kilos like that.
Absolutely not.
It's mad that she goes into more extension when she kind of moves back past the toughest point above parallel. Like she's moving into a better position.
Yes. No, it's a very nice squat.
Now, next we've got the 1 rep max, also known as Maxon Sheeter, who is bringing mullets back, deep squats back, and mustaches back, or making them cool at least, and bringing burying squats. So this is 330 kilo, 320-ish kilos, somewhere in that mark. It's so heavy, I'm not actually sure what exactly it is, and he is just repping it, absolutely burying the squats. This is what I love. I just want to make just deep squats like this cool again,
A lot of the time we see that kind of low bar position and low bar style of squat, and people say, oh, you just can't get that deep in it. Well, Max is getting that deep.
Yeah, Max is like, no, you can actually.
Max is getting after that depth.
In flat shoes as well, maybe Vivos or something like that.
I can't see now. My specs won't pick it up from here.
Your spectacles.
This is a very, very impressive squat, but this is also probably the only way you should be spotting squats like this in training.
With high boxes?
Yeah, like if you have 330 kilos on the bar, you probably need a spotter, no matter how strong you are. And to be honest, I really like that box approach. I think it's super solid. Very little risk of a spotter messing up. Like if you're doing 5 sets, you can't have 4 guys there for 5 sets.
Well, I think what the dude who accidentally passed away recently, dropped it forward,
Yes.
And so you're not going to be able to really drop a low bar squat forward is a thing,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. He's obviously very experienced, this lifter. So, yeah it's pins are still probably the best.
Yeah.
Or just dumping it. Or don't miss.
In terms of pins, you are going to murder the barbell on pins.
Yes. What is better than literally murdering yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, we've got the most popular lift at the moment, and the lift I have absolutely no time for is the 281 kilo Zercher full lift. So not a Zercher squat, but just a Zercher lift, so where you deadlift it up and then hook it under. It's seen a massive rise in popularity. It's a lot of different people, and this man is doing the heavy one.
I'm not a massive fan of the Zercher squats.
No.
I really don't like them. Now, I have a theory why Zercher squats are so popular.
Go away.
Because I feel as though when there's not a barrier, there's not direct targets there, and somebody's working away, so he might have been training for a few years, and they feel like they're getting strong at something. When something new and novel pops up, that they have the opportunity to be the strongest in their peer group or the strongest in their gym, at the Zercher squat in this case, it gains a lot of popularity in that way.
I think it probably feels super productive as well.
It's really not, though.
Yeah, novelty is nice too, though. So obviously a lot of people just like to do it for fun. They like the novelty of the lifting, which that's what we were just talking about last week, is a perfectly and 100% acceptable reason to do something. But I suppose where we're not super fans of it is when people are like, get your throwing game or wrestling to the next level by doing some Zercher squats, and it's like, nah, is it though? Like, I'm sure they do something. It's still heavy weight on the front loaded, but it's just not. It's not as good. It's not the key as some people would make it out to be. It's not the secret sauce to have an insanely athletic, dominant person. It's a nice lift. It's loaded, so it's going to have some effect, but it's not. It ain't all that. It's not as useful as it's made out to be.
I'll be perfectly honest. I might clack some hate for this one. Most of the time I've seen Zerchers programmed by coaches, they just can't coach those people to squat properly.
Yeah.
Or they just. I don't like them.
Like, one of the things I don't particularly like about it is if you're just doing, say, Zercher squats in particular, the effective range of motion is super limited, So if you compare it to a full depth front squat, full depth back squat, if you compare it to belt squats or something, it's still the range of motion you're moving your way through. There is a certain threshold for the amount of range of motion you take away through before it starts becoming almost kind of ineffective. So the amount of weight you can use through a limited range of motion. For example, if I do just knee wobbles or knee bends with 400 kilos on the bar, how much training effect am I getting on that? Most people would agree not much. And it's similar with the Zercher squat. Like, there's not a lot of range of motion. Now, from this full Zercher lift, to be fair, you're doing a deadlift and then doing this, but it's not super consistent training. It's not super repeatable. How many sets and reps can you do with that? And look, again, like I'm saying, it's not ineffective. It's not like it's going to do nothing. You're still loading on the front with a barbell. On top of that as well, I don't like the loading on the bicep tendon. And I don't like a lot of the stuff around here. There's a lot of soft tissue. There's not a lot of protection on it. There's not a lot of muscle mass to protect any of the tendons and ligaments there. And they get hurt enough in a lot of people. And it's just not something to be extra loading on. Do it for fun for sure, but I just don't think it's the answer to like your game changer. And we see a lot in combat sports where it's like elevate your takedown game with Zerchers. And you're like, or we could just get a strong upper back. We could do like pull-ups and squats and it'd be fine and it would work really well for most people. But
all that being said, that is incredibly impressive being able to do that with 281 kilos.
Oh, for sure. Sure. Absolutely.
Before anyone gets us mixed up or gets this the wrong way.
Yeah.
Incredibly impressive.
All we're saying is you're not going to see it in our programs.
Yeah.
Now, next up, we have got the one and only Panagiotis, who competes for the French team with, I don't know, is this not only a PB total, but this is a 300 kilo deadlift. So this is an unofficial world record total by 14.5 kilos. And conventional deadlift.
I love this deadlift.
I just want to make conventional deadlift cool. I just want to make it cool again. I think we should need to appreciate the conventional deadlifts.
I love how controlled the start of that deadlift was.
Yeah.
He just squeezed in. There's no crazy, big, flashy, dynamic start. There's none of this Macarena out in front of him. He just gets after it.
I don't love the French style low bar squat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I won't lie to you guys. I won't lie to you, Darren.
I don't think that's any secret round here, though.
I wouldn't lie to myself.
No.
But the deadlift is something else. It's really, I think, one of his fortes when it comes to lifting. So that 300 kilos at 66 kilo body weight. So frighteningly heavy conventional deadlift.
2.8 times body weight bench press.
175.
My God.
Crazy stuff.
My goodness gracious. Not 2.8.
Sticking with big conventional deadlifts, we have got Joey, who is deadlifting at the Euros. So he is an 82 point something kilo lifter, and he topped out at a 335 kilo deadlift. Conventional again, just to make conventional cool. Just to
get the word conventional into the new show as many times as we possibly can.
Yeah, just give us some love. That conventional deadlifting, anything beyond 320 kilos is just good. It's just strong. You know, see lots of people doing some crazy deadlifts with sumo and stuff, and you're like, right. But we need to remember that a conventional deadlifting is probably harder. Not probably, it is harder. And can we just respect that? Let's make appreciation for...
Yeah, and let's just be serious as well. Conventional deadlift's just cooler.
It is, and also so much cheating, to be real with everyone. And Joey, lovely conventional deadlift. Now, sticking with the conventional deadlift team in this new show, we have... He's called Professional Week Guy, but his real name seems to be Christopher. He's got a 775 kilo conventional deadlift. 775 pounds, apologies.
My goodness gracious.
That is 352 kilos on the conventional double overhand. It looks to be hook gripping.
That's just a lovely deadlift.
200 pound body weight, so he's like 88 kilos or something similar.
I think that
no,
is
it's more. Is that like 90? No?
What is it?
200 pounds?
205 is around 90 kilos.
Okay. So just slightly under.
It is a deadlift bar, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Still incredibly impressive. Such a nice deadlift. You know what? It's nice that us long-legged, long-armed people have things we could be good at if we tried.
You could be good at deadlifting if you tried some deadlifting.
Yeah.
Now, here we have got at the Tokyo Paralympic champion, we've got Abdel Karim Katab benching 260 kilos. So this is the Asian Para Games. And
my God,
that's crazy. 260 kilos. Doesn't make any sense.
You were doing some squats with 260 last week, Irv. How heavy is that when it's on your back?
It's pretty heavy, yeah.
How heavy could that be in your hands?
No idea. I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
You know what the thing about bench pressing is as well? It's just inherently it's over a very, very weak and vulnerable part of your body. Like
your throat.
Yeah.
Your chest.
260 kilos. Do you have any idea what body weight this guy is?
No idea. No
it's
idea.
Just insane.
So this was 9 kilos over his world record. Crazy
My
stuff.
God, yeah. Absolutely insane.
Next, we've got May Saguil. So Overshoot Sempe on Instagram. She's deadlifting 180 kilos by 7 on the deadlift. Not sure of her body weight, but, you know, any female powerlifter repping 180 kilos is doing something right.
I think she's a 60 kilo class.
Oh, is it?
I think from a thumbnail in her profile, yeah.
Oh, actually, there's a tag at 60 kilos. So, fuck, that's some not only absolute weight, but body weight ratio to be repping. Set a 7.
7 with 3 times your body weight. I really like high rep deadlifts. Mm-hmm. They get a bit of flack. I know some people don't like them. I really enjoy them. Mm-hmm. I also really like athletes to do them. So I think if you can just hang on and get the set done, you get a lot of valuable work done in those later reps.
Yeah, and for sure.
You really have to work hard to make sure your positions are maintained.
For you as well, I suppose 3 times body weight's 450, isn't it? So you're weighing in about 150 at the moment. So set of 7. That'd be 450 kilos for set of 7.
Yeah, I can only hope.
There's no one alive who could do that. Now, finishing off with the big squat, the big show, we've got Mega Gojira, aka Jesus, with 442 kilos for a double. My goodness.
Speaking of things that nobody else who's alive could do.
Oh,
Did
Eric Lillybridge Jr., I'm pretty sure doubled something like this. And
what about the guy who made the Kabuki bar?
Chris Duffin.
Did Chris Duffin do a double with 1,000 pounds?
That does sound
I think he did.
No, did he not do it? No, was that like...
People are in the comments just roaring at us right now.
Yeah, do roar at us. Do tell us, Chris Duffin did a few things with 1,000 pounds. I'm pretty sure he repped 1,000 pounds on the deadlift. I don't think he squatted. I don't think so, because Chris Duffin was like a 90 kilo lifter, 100 kilo body weight. There was surely no way he was doubling 1,000 pounds. No.
If you're watching and you do know, please do let us know. We'll go and look this up afterwards, but please let us know.
Yeah, it's only that you said it there. I was trying to think. I know for sure. I'm almost certain Eric Lillybridge did it.
Jeez, Eric Lillybridge lifted some absolutely insane weights.
Yes. I wonder, has Ray Williams doubled 450? I feel like he might have.
I feel like he has.
Yeah, I'm sure Eric has. But to be honest with you, it doesn't matter because Jesus is going to do something.
Oh my God.
He's still only 26.
No way.
25 or 26, yeah, something crazy. So it doesn't really matter what he's doing right now because he's going to do something way more soon, I have to imagine.
Yeah.
1,000 pounds, what's that, an extra 26 pounds? So that's nothing really.
No.
Well, if he's on the warpath.
You know, this brings up a kind of broader path, and it's slightly tangential to this.
Go on.
But the most recent generation of powerlifters.
I know them, yep.
So obviously Mega Gojira is in this. But what are these guys going to be doing in 10 years' time?
Steroids, hopefully. Thanks for watching the news show. Thank you for everyone who comments on the videos and tags us in them. Again, look at every single one of them every week. Look at the emails, look at the DMs, and look at all of the tags. And like I say, it's easiest if you tag us. It's easiest for us to just see it and go through them. And again, I look at every single one of them and just check them out and see what we can put in the new show. We have to go through before every new show, we have to go through them and just take out certain ones. We have to be pretty cutthroat because otherwise the new show would be over an hour long, which is we kind of try and keep it to at least the 30-minute mark is near the maximum. So thank you to everyone who tags us. Please keep tagging us. It's amazing that people do it. Check out the Sika Strength app on iOS and Android. You will not regret it. If you've been looking at our programs, there's loads of great stuff in there. There's Becoming a Horse or weightlifting. New powerlifting program. There's a new Road to Anywhere squat program. The RTA 2.0. Loads of people are running that on the app. Part 2, it's 12 weeks in length. It's an evolution of the previous one. So if you've run the previous one before and you've had success, I can only recommend you run this. Loads of people have run the RTA 3-4 times now at this stage, and I can only recommend running the RTA 2.0 because it is the next level. I can almost guarantee PBs on it.